Welcome back, everyone.
Just like the first time. Like, not that we've tried again or nothing like that.
Well, they don't know that.
Exactly. First time,
All
guys. Hi.
So, you're back from your eviction. Tell us.
I am back from the eviction, and it's so interestingly, I get there. I'm sitting in my car for a while. It took about 20 minutes for the police officer to show up. Luckily, we have the locksmith guy on. He's there and he's waiting, and he calls me and he's like, "Oh, I'm here," and I'm like, "Okay, that's good. I gotta wait for the sheriff before we can do anything." And he's just like, "Okay." And I'm watching the locksmith start cleaning out his van and doing all this random stuff, and I'm just staring at this house, trying to look inside. Do I see anything?
Had you knocked or anything at this point?
I had done nothing at this point. I was waiting for the sheriff to show up, or the officer in the sheriff's department. I'm sure it wasn't the sheriff that actually showed up. Right. So finally, an officer shows up, pulls up, and ends up pulling up right next to me. And I get out, and I have my little manila folder full of paperwork, and he says the address, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm here for." So he goes, "Okay," he's like, "Have you tried to go inside yet?" And I said, "Nope, I was waiting for you." And he's like, "Okay," and he walks up to the door, and we knock on the door. And nothing happens. We knock on the door again, and he's like, "Sheriff's department," or whatnot, and nothing happens. So I look at the locksmith, and I was like, "Okay, I guess
hey, time to shine.
I guess it's time for you." And we gave him the go ahead, and he gets down and he starts to mess with the lock, and I guarantee he was watching through the camera that he had set up, because all of a sudden, the second this locksmith starts messing with the lock, the door unlocks and opens up. And this guy who, the guy I'd never met before, he opens the door and he's like, "Oh, what's going on? Can I help you?" Acting all innocent.
I'm completely shocked.
Oh yeah, absolutely acting innocent. And the officer's just like, "You're, this officer was kind of funny because he didn't put up with any shit from this dude. He was like,
yeah, I'm sure they've done enough of these where they're like, "All right, we ain't got time for bullshit. Get the fuck out."
Yeah, he was like, "You're getting evicted." And he's like, No, that nobody ever told me what day I was getting evicted. He's like, "And I know my rights. I know I have to have a date." So it was funny because you could tell that he literally was determined that he was in the right, and he had no plans on leaving. He thought he was going to win because he was not appropriately told about his eviction. And the officer just looks at him and he's like, "Look, multiple eviction paperwork comes through my office. If I see one that has this little stamp on it," and he's starts pointing at the stamp, and he goes, "If I see one that has this little stamp on it, all that means is everything's been done as exactly as it's supposed to do, and my job at that point is to get you out of the property." And he's like, "You have no right for restitution. You need to go." And he's literally, the funniest thing that I feel gets said is he's just like, No. I know my rights. I'm a property manager." And it's just the irony of that statement is just your argument is that you know your rights, that you shouldn't get evicted because you're a property manager, which means you're a person who, manages these properties and deals with evictions, which is why
right,
your rights. So eventually he's just arguing with the officer for a while, and the second that as the officer's arguing with him, the officer kind of walks him into the house and looks at the locksmith and goes, "Get that lock off this door right now." Just turns to him, and this locksmith just jumps into action and starts unscrewing the locks as quickly as he can. And finally, I think he realized that he wasn't gonna win, and just said, the officer's like, "You have 5 minutes to grab anything you need," because he kept arguing that he didn't pack anything. He had nothing packed. And he's like, "You got 5 minutes to grab anything you need." And he bolted upstairs.
So when is he supposed to come back now?
It gets more intriguing than this. So all of a sudden he pops his head out the upstairs window and he starts asking if he can have a friend come over and help him move. And the officer just looks at him and goes, "What friend are you talking about?" He's like, "My neighbor." He's like in the house, like right next door. He's just gonna come over and help me move this big thing out of here. And the officer looks at me, and I just say, "Yeah, that's fine." And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." So as he's doing this, the officer tells us to go to the back door and start dealing with the lock on the back door.
Now, did you bring new locks, or is that something the locksmith carries with him?
He actually did have it with him, but I had my own locks because the only reason I really needed the locksmith there was in case we couldn't get the door open.
Yeah.
But he was already out there anyway, and he was actually a locksmith, was a really cool dude. So he just took my locks and was putting them on the door, and he didn't charge me for anything other than the standard fee that he was going to be there for because he used my locks. He was like, whatever, I'm just going to charge you for, being here. What I would charge you for anyway, because I used your locks and it didn't take that long. Like at the end of the day, so that was cool, but. So we go to the back door, and I hear this like little commotion, and the officer just kind of comes back, and he's like, "Okay, he's out of here now." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, "Yeah, he walked in and just started. Apparently, he walked in with the neighbor to move stuff, and they both just started bitching about how this was illegal and how it was just against his rights." And the officer was just like, "Yeah, fuck you. Now you lost your privileges," and just kicked him out the door. Didn't let him take a thing out of the house.
Okay.
So I finally get ready to leave. We get the locks changed. We get it all squared away. I leave. Start to drive home. He apparently is blowing up Julia's phone.
Okay. And she had talked to him the day before, right?
Yes, which she claims he had no idea when he was getting evicted, even though she talked to him the day before. And I think, like I said, he was, pretty determined that he didn't get notified appropriately because he's probably, as a property manager, only had to evict people for failure to pay rent. He probably hasn't evicted people who just randomly moved into his properties and weren't supposed to be there.
Squatters, basically.
Right. So he was accurate, and we were looking up all those laws last week when we were doing it. He was probably accurate, and he was trying to use that and thought that he was like golden and just didn't have. And I will tell you, he had a lot of stuff packed up. Like there was a lot of boxes and stuff in the living room, but I mean, for a guy who wasn't supposed to be living in the house, he had so many TVs hung, mounted. It was actually a pretty cool setup. Like he has 5 TVs in this 2-bedroom house. One was on this cool swivel mount in the kitchen that swiveled back and forth between the kitchen and like the living room because of the way it was like anchored to the wall. This giant TV in the living room. He had this huge fancy like bedroom set upstairs in the bedroom. So like clearly for a guy who wasn't supposed to be living there, he planned on living there for a long fucking time.
Yeah, it's not like he moved in permanently.
And he starts blowing up her phone, and he wants to, he didn't know when he was going to get evicted. All he wants to do is be able to schedule a time to get his stuff out of there. And the officer had asked that too, is like before he kicked him out for being a dick, if we were going to let him come back and get his stuff out. And he straight up said to me, he goes, "Keep in mind, in this state, you do not have to. But it might if you're going to let him, and we let him know that, it might make him leave easier right now," is what he said. But apparently, we don't have to let him get anything.
Really? Okay.
So I told him, yeah, we don't want the stuff anyway. Like that's not what we're here for. And so we said we were going to let him have the stuff, but he's flipping out because he took absolutely nothing. So keep in mind, Julia's in Delaware at this time.
Yeah.
I'm here. He wants to schedule something for Sunday. I say, fuck that. Sunday's opening's day of football. We ain't doing the shit on Sunday.
Okay.
So I said, you tell him I will give him a 1-hour window tonight. Between 7 and 8 is probably the best, but whatever time he wants, you tell him he has 1 hour. I will go back there tonight since he didn't get to take anything, and he can get whatever he can out of that house in an hour. And then we can still schedule for him to get the rest of the stuff out of there. But, since he didn't get to, because he mouthed off to the cop, he didn't get to take anything so that he doesn't just bitch and complain. I will give him an hour tonight. So she lets him know. He's quote unquote grateful. Oh my God, he'll make it. He'll get everything out of that house in an hour. That's all he needs is 1 hour. He's got all this family lined up to do all this stuff. 7 o'clock. said, okay. So now I'm going to go up to Baltimore on my way to Delaware at 7 o'clock tonight.
Okay.
So I show up at 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock. He's not there. I get ready to leave. Pulls up with the moving truck. Apologizes for being late, but what the fuck happened to our outsides?
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get done with your story so I could tell you to come look outside.
I was like, wait a minute here, like, is this a prank?
I don't remember being in a mushroom biome. It looks like we've been pranked or something. I don't really understand what has happened. I didn't want to interrupt your story though. I wanted you to finish. I'd come up to got materials and I saw all of this.
I mean,
But the sign says, "Hey, I borrowed some of your cows, but one of them mutated."
Mutated.
Do you believe it survived a lightning strike?
Oh God, who did this?
Coincidence. Moved it back. Beef or the infection spread. Have fungus. Fedrin.
Wait, what?
Feed me flowers and use a bowl. Herd discharge is suspicious. I don't know what that even means.
There's a lot of puns in here, which is hilarious. But this is actually a different colored mushroom.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell this is. It's some shit Mojang's added. I've never heard of. I don't know what this is.
This is very entertaining. Huh.
It's some kind of different mushroom, right?
I'm like afraid of like letting it free. Like, is it a bad thing? And what if you feed it flowers?
Feed me flowers and use a bowl. Let's try it. Let's.
Oh God.
Okay. I fed him flowers.
Did you use a bowl?
No. You gonna use a bowl on him? What the hell do you got there?
Suspicious stew.
Eat it.
Oh, it's dark. It's dark.
Dark.
I have blindness.
Huh.
Okay, I no longer have blindness.
That
seems to be all it did was give me blindness for a little bit, but it like fed my hunger and all.
Oh, I'm also blind now.
This is the weirdest thing in the world. This is.
Well, now you didn't get suspicious stew that time, right?
You're right. I didn't. Maybe is that only from the flower?
Because you didn't feed him flowers. I don't think.
Did you get suspicious? So you got suspicious stew.
Yeah.
So does it do twice?
What's
or
that? Is that just mushrooms?
It's just mushroom stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you have to feed him a flower every time.
Oh, you fed him a flower before you took yours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. What's the why? Why would you want to do that?
I don't know. Now, there's different types of suspicious stew. Maybe it's not always the same.
There is different types of suspicious stew.
I know one of them gives you regeneration, but one of them also gives you poison. Because I remember it was talked about whenever they added these stews that it could possibly be good for UHC.
Oh, probably I can't eat it right now.
Yeah, I'm not hungry either.
So that's very entertaining. Watch, it won't be like an instant death. I'm gonna take my first death from like just eating an instant.
Right.
Come on. I'm trying to jump around up here and one more time, and it's just doesn't seem to be taking the hunger that it used to take.
Maybe stew's really good for you.
I mean, I must have a lot of saturation or something like that.
So finish the story though. So he gets there, he's late.
So he gets there, he's late. He does have a bunch of family members who coincidentally, and this guy, by the way, is probably in his like mid 40s, so he's not an old guy.
Okay.
And his family comes. His family's very nice family. Like, he's kind of a dick at first, but then like I ended up bullshitting with him a little bit later as well after I let them in. Because they're like, his mother's there. She's really kind. He's got some cousins that are helping him out that are like older cousins. I was wearing my Twitch shirt at the time, and it turns out they're like Minecraft fans. And they didn't know us directly, but they were asking about, like, he's like, oh, you do Twitch? Like, what do you do? And I said, oh, some Minecraft. Usually it's on YouTube. And he's like, oh, and he started talking about, like, somebody, but it wasn't, anybody on our on our group, and I was like, oh yeah, that's those are different like people, and he's like, oh, what do you guys normally do? He's like, are you the group that like pranks each other all the time? And I was like, I still don't know if he was really talking about us, and I was like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh dude, that's awesome. So we're just like talking like back and forth. It was kind of weird, but at like 9:30. So I'm trying to go still drive. I got like 3 hours left to drive. At 9:30, I tell him, I said, look, I'm giving you a 20-minute warning, because he wasn't even close to like anywhere. I'm like, I'm giving you a 20-minute warning. You got to get out of here. And he goes, 20 minutes? He like looked at me like I was insane. And I was like, yes, 20 minutes. He's like, I can't get this stuff out of here in 20 minutes. And I was like, I gave you a 1 hour window. You showed up an hour late, and that was an hour and a half ago. Like, I've given you already.
And you were told you were getting evicted. Like, you knew. It's like, so, anyways.
Well, then he tries to give me some sob story about like this, that, the other, and I'm just like, no, I got a long ways to go tonight. Like, you got to get out of here. So eventually, he like does agree to leave, and then it's so funny because he wants to leave. He wants to make sure he leaves his camera is facing toward the door. He's got a camera like in the windowsill, like, and it was like he's had these, he's had his own like wireless cameras for, property, maintenance to watch it, which is a smart thing to do. And I was like, yeah, I put some cameras upstairs too, which I had brought a security system with me, and I was hoping he's gonna leave his internet set up there because then I can hook it up and actually like keep an eye on the property.
Yeah.
But of course, one of the first things he takes is the internet box. But he asked me to make sure that his camera is still facing the door because he's still got stuff there and he doesn't want to lose it. And I was thinking, okay, that's weird. Maybe he left the internet or something. And on the way out, we start talking about football, and he's looking for the football schedule. So he's like, okay, Google, when do the Redskins play? Or, he's not a Skins fan. He's up in Baltimore. So he was a Ravens fan. He's like, when do the Ravens play this weekend? And Google was like, you are not connected to the internet right now. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on. He's like, oh yeah, we took the internet with us. Okay, but anyways, just make sure that camera's facing toward the door so my stuff doesn't get stolen. And
Did you ever say like, hey, idiot?
No, I kind of was just like, okay, like it's gonna click in at some point. I figured I was gonna wait until he left because maybe he had some other way that it was hooked up and I could utilize for the security system as well. But right when he left, I like picked up the camera, and it's just like a Wi-Fi camera that clearly was no longer connected because he took the took the Wi-Fi, took the router. Like, it was just sitting there. I'm like, okay, that's like this. I don't know what he plans on doing. But at some point, I think I got to go back out there this weekend again so we can finish moving. But it was like hours of just wasted time. And it could have been so much worse. I mean, I'm very happy that I think that the cops clearly done this before and, not putting up with the bullshit that he was trying to, put up with. But it could have been so much worse, especially going back there to let him get the stuff. Because I'm literally just standing on the street corner in this house in Baltimore for basically, because I wasn't in the house. I was just sitting in my car across the street, or I'd occasionally go inside just to check on progress, then I'd just go back outside and sit on the stoop for a while, or just go sit in my car and like listen to like, podcasts or whatever. Those are like 2.5 hours of sitting around doing, fuck all in the middle of Baltimore. It could have just been terrible, like on many levels, but
I mean, shit, you should have just took all the stuff and sold it. I mean, had a yard sale there next week.
He's still got shit there now. Like, we could do that too. But I told him, I said, the plan is not to get rid of your stuff. We don't want to get rid of. We want you to get rid of your stuff, but you need to do it. And I told him, don't worry, we're not going to throw it away because he's determined this table, this sentimental table that he's got. And I'm like, look, not going to throw it away as long as we schedule a time and get it out of here in a reasonable time frame. I said, but it's not going to be this weekend. Like you originally wanted. I said, maybe it's going to be next weekend that we can schedule something for. And that's why I think we have something scheduled for like Saturday to go get it. But I don't want to go sit up there all day on Saturday, which is what I'm going to end up doing because I think it's scheduled for a 2-hour window to get his stuff out of there from like 12 to 2. Guarantee I'm going to be there until like 8 o'clock.
Probably, yeah.
But I just want to get it done.
But yeah, it sounds like it went. That's how I expect to go. The only thing that you told me that was surprising to me was that you own his property.
Yeah,
That's not how it is
and that's
here.
that's exactly what the officer said. He was just like, "You're gonna let him come back in and get his stuff. Keep in mind, you do not have to." And I was like, "Oh, well, shit. Would have been nice to keep some of those TVs up, you know."
Yeah, I know, right? 5 TVs.
Yeah, I mean, they were
I
nice
wouldn't want
ones too.
I wouldn't want the nightmare and headache it would be to do that
Oh,
though.
exactly. That's like, well, you know, TVs are so cheap nowadays. It's like,
Yeah, it is
ain't
pretty
worth
surprising
it.
how cheap they are. Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice big 65-inch TV. Probably, I'm just guessing. That was in the living room, like a smart TV. I could really go buy a decent one for like less than $500. Like, what's the purpose?
Yeah, I remember buying the stupid Sony 60-inch back in the day and spending $5,000 on it. Now this you couldn't get a penny for it. Those damn silverfish, damn, we ain't in no.
There's silverfish in here?
We are not in a biome that supports silverfish. What the hell?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Is it? You think it's the mushroom? You think, Fedrin, there's more to her prank than she let on?
I mean, we haven't even gone and look at our other area. I guess there could be more to it. I'm gonna go peek over there.
How do I
see.
What did we make last time?
What did you say?
What did we make last time? I only have 5 levels.
Oh, you enchanted some stuff, didn't you?
I drank the potion again. It just gave me blindness. Oh yeah, I made the bow and the pick. I remember doing some enchant. I don't remember getting down to that low of levels though, because I'm worried because I'm gonna have to go repair my pick again because it's almost dead, and I don't know if I.
Okay, there's other things that are different.
What?
I will wait here for you.
Like changing, like as we speak.
I'll wait here for you.
There's a creeper. Jesus Christ, you let me in a. Ah!
That's not part of it.
Are you sure? Where are you? Are you back?
Going back towards home.
Okay, I'm escaping creepers. Why you make me do this at night? We probably haven't slept. There's probably fucking like phantoms.
I laid down when I came out.
I can't even find my way back home anymore. I can't find my way home.
Where are you going?
I got lost. Help. This way. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, I'm so good.
That's not the way either, Jeff.
This is the way.
Where are you going?
This is the way. It's a way.
I've never gone that way, ever.
I think I have before, and that's why I know it, but I don't know if it's the best way.
Alright, do you see this?
No, I'm just running because I was getting chased by so much stuff.
Oh, well, all this is different right here. These blocks weren't here before. This overhang here above us?
Are you
this
sure?
This is new. Yeah, that wasn't like that. It definitely was not like that.
What? I'm not picking up what you're putting down here.
These blocks right here. These blocks right here. Right here. These are new. These were not here.
What do you think they
The
mean?
smooth. They don't mean anything to me, but this smooth stone was not here before. There was not an archway right here.
You may or may not be correct, but I don't know. Like, somebody just came and built some random blocks.
I mean, yeah, maybe to see if we noticed or something. This was not here. This was not
They've
here.
added like a single block every single day.
It's possible that happened with Red Flowers in season 3 or 2, some season. You remember that?
It'd be really funny if it was season 1.
That would be really scary. But I don't see anything over here that looks any different.
I'm trying to go over. I want to jump into bed real quick and then.
Hey, maybe those were there. I don't remember that.
It looks natural, so I can't, and it doesn't look like it's leading
Yeah.
to anything, so I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Is it just
Yeah,
us
maybe
on
I
the
just.
server now? Oh, it's
Maybe I don't
Brianna.
remember it. Wait, what's that?
Brianna's on. A lighthouse. We built that together, good.
Like
Like 8 times.
Lighthouse is new.
By the way.
Never seen it before. But the white block on the edge there, I don't remember that.
Snow? Are you drunk?
Yeah, it is snow, but I thought it was different. I don't remember this snow here before, but I guess it was. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, I guess nothing.
I mean, I will admit that this looks a little out of place. This overhang looks a little out of place Oh, that's
Where are
actually.
you at now?
I'm just flying around up above,
Oh.
trying to see if the terrain looks unnatural. But I mean, it looks out of place, but not that I can imagine somebody did something.
I mean, it could be like a slow burn, right?
I mean, it could be. I'd be curious to see where this goes. Let's see where this is going.
Okay. Well, maybe it's just in my head. Maybe those overhangs were always here. I just don't remember them. I think axe is what chops mushroom blocks best.
If I recall, that is correct. Okay, I've got to use another pick.
We're gonna need to light this pyramid up on the outside here.
Getting a little busy.
There's a topic I want to bring up, but we'll have to save it for the next episode.
How many levels you got?
20.
This is gonna cost 17 levels to.
What are you trying to do?
Oh wait, we can go. I can go. It's a mending pick, right?
Yeah.
I guess in theory I can go to the Fedrin farm.
Yeah. No, things should be easy to repair now in seconds.
Yeah, I was like making new picks and.
Like, don't need to do that.
This thing. I don't remember.
But we are out of time.
Yeah.
So repair that in between, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Jeff's still alive. We knew we could do it.
I mean, thank you, officer. And screw you, asshole tenant guy. Bye.